welcome. Is it recording? Yes, we are recording. We're live. Welcome to the 20th of January. Can you even believe it? Who is pumped for this year? Who has set their intentions and is going for it? Absolutely. Isn't it a good feeling? Like you feel like 1 January, like you just start again, and it gives you this new exhilaration. And those goals that you had, if you hadn't quite reached, you're even more dedicated and fired up to achieve them, which is absolutely amazing. My name's Cherie Kevin. I'm a Regional Vice President with Arbonne, and it is my privilege tonight to host the call alongside my gorgeous upline sponsor, or not direct sponsor, but sponsor that I work with, and constant role model, Denny Lease, tonight as well. So you're going to be seeing her, as I've actually got a Discover Arbonne on tonight as well in my own home. So I'm running like a mad woman tonight. So we are co-hosting, which is super exciting. You know what? The only thing that ever trumps trainings is activity. So if you're not on a training, absolutely make sure you're in activity, because it's the only thing that trumps it. But do everything you can to be on every call you can. All right, so just to run through a couple of updates that are happening. Hands up who grabbed themselves some of the marble cake protein powder or champagne rose fizz. Boop, 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 boop. We all did. Isn't it exciting? Who's got theirs already? Oh, I'm so hating on you. Mine's not arrived. Stinking North Queensland. Oh, is it just amazing? I can't wait to get it. This is why we all need to be national vice presidents, so we have it ahead of everybody else, and we can be scouting about how amazing it tastes and be telling everybody how wonderful it is. So absolutely make sure that you've grabbed yours. Now, as of half an hour ago, there was still stock available of both the Cheers to Us bundle, which is as a consultant, like for the protein powder and the fizz and the 40-year anniversary cup is about $115. So it's a bargain. And also, don't forget, as a consultant offer this month for Australia and New Zealand, the ginger green tea, and for other markets, it's actually the hair pack. So if you place an order that's over 300 QV, make sure you grab hold of that. It's worth stocking up and doing your monthly order all at once, so that you can get your green tea, which is a limited offer, your ginger green tea, and also get your fizz and your marble cake protein before they sell out as well. Now, the next exciting news is who is going to be a district manager doing 3,500 in 1 month this month. I want to see some comments. Who's going for it? Who is absolutely going to own January and going to be a full district manager? Amazing. So it's been done before. We've had this once before. This is the second time in 5 years that I've ever seen this happen in Arbonne. So do not let this roll by. This is a huge opportunity to grab your extra 8% override, to elevate to the next level. And the work that you do in this month, and the reason why they bring this out, the work that you do to become a district manager, and you're going to hear from one of our district managers tonight, this work teaches you what you need to know to go to the top of the company. How to just work that muscle, make that little bit, that muscle just that little bit stronger. Feel that little bit of pain as you step outside your comfort zone. You know, push yourself and ask those people that you were too scared to ask in the beginning, to reach out and do that little bit extra work. You know, it's those 10 more asks in a day, or those extra 2 people in person that you've seen uptown, to go, you know what, that could be my next national vice president. I'm going to go and speak to them and start up a conversation. So by putting these goals out there, that's what these goals actually allow us to do. And that's why we say that once you become a district manager, you absolutely can go to the top of this company, because you have everything and you know everything that you need to know to be able to do that. Because then simply all you're going to do is help other people do exactly what you have done. So that is absolutely amazing. So, and also, who is on track for our incentive trip to Vietnam and registered? Amazing. We've already got level 1 achievers that have already ticked that box, level 2 achievers as well. Super exciting. So make sure that you're using your tracker as well for Vietnam, and you're in that, you know, you've registered obviously, but that you're tracking as to where you're at for each level as well. And you know, to be able to be given a trip to Arbonne, elevate your business, given a free trip, the extra commissions that you get along the way as well. Like, honestly, can it get any better than that? It's phenomenal, right? So super exciting. So as we mentioned, one of the things is becoming a district manager. And tonight we've got Teresa Teresi, who is an executive district manager. She's absolutely phenomenal. She went hard right from the beginning of her journey to achieve this. She's actually got kids at home and has worked in corporate. And she's going to share a little bit of her story and why she's seen R1 being such a powerful vehicle for her, and how she achieved district manager, and some tips for us tonight. Who's excited to hear some tips to take them to DM? Amazing. I love seeing all your excitement. So, Teresa, just unmute yourself. And if you start talking, we should be able to pin you. Just trying to find you. Are you there? Hello? I can't find you. Are you there, love? She might have been held up. All good. All right, what we might do is I'll just wait and see if she jumps on. And I only spoke to her like an hour ago, so I hope everything's okay. Okay, I'll jump on and I'll do the success principles. Who's been loving reading their success principles book? Amazing. So I've actually got the digital version, and then I found that when I was reading the digital version, because we actually did this a couple of years ago, I found that I wanted to have the paper version, because then I can start to do, you know, you can probably see, like, you know, all the highlighting and all the notes in it. So maybe, you know, for you guys, we're going to be doing a chapter of this every week. I'd suggest you actually order online, get yourself a hard copy, because to be honest, no matter what level you're at, this is going to be your Bible for R1. It underpins everything. And if you actually have a conventional business as well, you're going to want to use this also. So I use this for my trainings. I still use this at the VP level for lives that I do. I look at it and it's helped, like I said, my conventional business as well. So have that copy. So today we're actually going to go through and do chapter 2, which is called Be Clear Why You Are Here. Who loved last week's training that we had on the first chapter? I think Bianca did it, didn't she? Amazing. So good. So this is going to carry on. All right. So be clear why you're here. Now, we've all probably heard the saying, you want to have a why that makes you cry. But I actually think it's more important to have a why that makes you work. Do you want to know why? Because sometimes the thing that makes us cry is the thing that gets in our way. But the thing that makes us work is the thing that takes us on a massive vision. So have you ever been sidetracked from your goals? Who's ever been sidetracked? Got distracted, kids are home from school, you know, family comes to visit, you have a job change, you move house. Is this sounding familiar? Teething, girlfriends go overseas, whatever it might be, all right? So we've all had that moment where we've been a bit distracted from our goals and we're starting to lose our way. And before you know it, you know, even if we think about sometimes our healthy eating goals, before we know it, we're like, oh, I'm going to do this diet or I'm going to lose this weight. And then all of a sudden 6 months has gone by and we're like, oh man, I said I was going to do that 6 months ago, but I'm at no different spot right now than where I was 6 months ago. Imagine if I just changed a small amount of something in my life, where could I have been 6 months later? Because that time has gone like that. So 12 months, 18 months, it can happen so fast and we're no closer. And, you know, you might be reflecting on your year from last year and your goals that you had at this time last year and think to yourself, you know what, my goal was exactly the same as what it was this time last year, but I'm no closer. Why is that? And a big part of it can be that we lose our purpose, our why that makes us work. And that's the thing that projects us from going like this and maintaining, and like that plane in the air that we're just constantly adding fuel and we're just sort of maintaining it, but we're not getting that lift off, that growth. And even for me, you know, I thought I was a very motivated businesswoman, but that's something that I had to really dig deep on and really work on to give me that why to make me work. Because it's like our compass, it helps to take us in the right direction. You know, even through the most scariest of terrains, we need that compass to keep us going and know where we're going so we don't go off track and get distracted. So I want you to really think about, so tonight's going to be a little bit proactive with you having a bit of a look and thinking about your time. So I want you to think about what's your purpose? You know, what things could you do and get paid for that you love so much? Now, you might not think straight away it's Arbonne, but you might think, what are the activities to do with Arbonne that you absolutely love and that you would almost do for free? Or these might even be things outside of Arbonne, and then you'd have the free time because of Arbonne's check and what you're earning. I want you just to have a think for 2 seconds and write down 3 things. What are 3 things that you would absolutely do for free, but that you could potentially get paid for? Just going to give you a couple of minutes. Okay, so it might be, for example, you might love doing people's makeup. You might love helping people with business ideas. You might like branding. You might love photography. You might love making people feel good. You might love, people might look to you and think you're always such a positive person. You always make everyone feel amazing around you. You might love showing, you know, going through strategies and business plans. You might love doing personal training. You might love helping people be healthier. All right, so did you write down a couple of things? Okay, now some of them, like I said, might not be Arbonne, but it might be that Arbonne's going to give you the income and the time freedom to be able to do it. So, for example, this is going to be your fuel. So now I want you to list out 2 personal qualities. This has all come together at the end, so bear with me. 2 personal qualities that people compliment you on. So for example, you might be a positive person, you might be a good runner, you might be kind, you might be bubbly, happy person. What are 2 qualities that people tell you, not what you think about yourself, that people tell you? All right. Now, what are 2 ways that you love expressing these qualities? So, 2 ways that you might be, for example, you might be, people say to you that you're an amazing cook, okay? That you do great recipes, that you cook amazingly. 2 ways that you might love to express that is by having your friends over and cooking for them and entertaining. Or people might say that you're a good motivator at the gym. So ways that you might express that is, for example, being a personal trainer. So what are 2 ways that you love expressing these qualities? All right, amazing. Now, what we're going to do is, how can we monetize these passions and strengths of yours? You've got strengths, you've got passions, things that you could do for free, things that you would do even if you weren't being paid. You've already got strengths within yourself. You don't need to even change who you are. They're already there, but are you letting the world see them? So now we want to monetize these. So in a perfect world, describe how your day would be if you could monetize these passions and strengths. Now, this might be a paragraph that you need to write down. I'm going to put on some music for this. Okay, 2 questions while you're doing this. What would you be doing during the day? What would your day look like? And how will this impact others? What effect are you having on other people? Okay, have you started to sort of put that together? Amazing. Okay, so can you see how now your strengths and your vision, your purpose can start to come together, your passion, your purpose, and this will become your why. And I'd really encourage you to delve into this even deeper and ask yourselves those 2 questions as you're doing this. The 2 questions were, what will I be doing? What will my day visually look like every day? What will the tasks look like that I'm doing? And what impact will this be having on other people? So as you do that, that's your passion, that's your purpose. Now, it might read something like this, and it can be really simple. I show single mums how to eat and prepare healthy meals. I show others how to monetize their influence and live the life they desire. I help others believe in themselves through an online business. I create and inspire 1 million millionaires who give $1 million to charity. Your vision can be as big or as simple as you desire, but it needs to be true to you. And we know that through this incredible business that we can either create the income or use it in line with our passion to be able to do that. And sometimes, it's more than it is. We might even ask ourselves, if we died and we had someone write on our tombstone what summed us up, what would it actually say? Because that then really goes to show whether our passion and our purpose really shines through to everybody. Have you got this on your social media account? Is it underlining in everything that you post and talk about? Is it what you tell people at every Discover Arbonne, at every event that you do? Because our purpose and our passion will be different for every single person, but people are going to align with us when we're true to that, and they're going to buy into that vision. So mine is not to inspire and create 1 million millionaires to give $1 million to charity. That's not me, but that's someone else's. So what's yours? And feel free to share it below. And so really ask yourself, on my tombstone, is that coming clear? Are other people able to see that? Am I living that out? Does it mean something to me? Does that make me get up every day because I'm so passionate of being able to do that? It doesn't need to be flowery, it doesn't need to be poetic, but it just needs to be you. So what's your purpose? Mine's to help and show others to live their absolute best life through food, products, and business every single day, simply and easily. Read it every morning to yourself when you do your personal power hour as well. Have that, your purpose, every single day. So every day you're on track to do that. And watch your business change as you move forward every day towards that purpose and that goal that you have, your why that makes you work. All right, so now we will hand over to the gorgeous Denny Leask, who will introduce Fiona. Denny, I'll message you just about Teresa. I'm just waiting for a message back from her. And she'll introduce our gorgeous area manager and story and continue on with the training. Is that okay?
No worries. Sounds good. I've been checking for Teresa and haven't seen her pop on. I keep checking down the side to see if she's popped on. So shoot me a message and let me know.
I will. Thank you. Thanks,
No worries.
amazing.
Have fun at your DA tonight.
We will.
See ya. Rock it. See you, babe. Okay, so let's keep going. Super excited to hear from Fiona. So Fiona is a beautiful mum of 2, and she's going to share with us how she became an area, some tips on becoming an area manager. She has multiple businesses, and she's owned multiple businesses. And after watching Cherie's journey, she realised it was something that she wanted to do, and she never wanted to work for someone else. So she now, hang on, sorry guys. My screen went black. And she loved how time leveraged this business was, so she jumped in. Now, having fallen in love with the products and the business of network marketing, there is no looking back. She is in the middle of her lychee season, which is hectic as she works 4 a.m. to 7 p.m. daily, 7 days a week. But like a true leader, Fiona is showing up here tonight on the call, ready to share her gems with all of us, which says an incredible amount about you. Most people don't get on the call with like the reasons I hear sometimes. It really shows you that, you know, I know immediately people who are going to do very well and people who aren't by the people who make this stuff like this a priority. Becoming an expert in your field. You're not going to make it without becoming an expert in your field, and this is exactly how you do that. So I'm so proud of you, babe. I love hearing you talk, and I can't wait to hear you share with us. So take it away.
Okay, thanks, Jenny. Okay, so I've been an area manager for 2.5 years, 2.5 years, and as Jenny said, a traditional business. So I just wanted to say on that note, with lychee season, that's our seasonal business for us. I think it's really good actually to have done lychee season again, because it's just hit home exactly how great Arbonne is. Just like leading up to this season, you know, all the compliance and workplace health and safety, etc. So anyone that's got a business will know what I'm talking about. We've got 20 employees. We start at 4 a.m. and, you know, it's awesome. I absolutely love it. And I wouldn't, I can't see in our future that we won't be doing lychee season, but it just really hits home how simple Arbonne is and how much they take the heavy lifting for when you have a business. There's so many caps and hats that you have to wear to earn the income and to create a business. But Arbonne, you know what I mean? Where can you get a website for $65? So I'm like, you know what, I have to do Arbonne. I mean, I have to do lychee season every year to make me appreciate how amazing Arbonne is in that sense. Like sometimes when you don't have that, you can take it for granted. And I have done that myself. I've definitely taken it for granted and, you know, got quite treated Arbonne like a hobby, I suppose. So for me, my story, it's taken just under 2 years, sorry, to get to area manager. So for me, I, you know, absolutely love being my own boss. I would never work for anyone else. Just, you know, love being the master of my own destiny, that sort of thing. When I came into Arbonne, I thought I'd be an MVP in 6 months. So it's been a really big learning journey for me. It's completely different to what I have been, you know, in my background. So I think for me, I had people come into the business early on. I could seem to find that I couldn't find anyone to stick. I did parties and events and one-on-ones and did all the do. People would come and go. I had built a great client base of preferred clients and home shoppers. But it took a while for me to get my team. So I have an amazing team now and we're growing and we seem to be able to maintain area and above quite consistently, which is awesome. But one of the things I heard when I was getting probably dejected about not having a team early on was, you know, we're looking for 4 aces in a pack of cards. So, you know, you might have to flip over 48 cards to find your 4 aces. Some people might find their aces at the start, or, you know, you never know where those aces are going to turn up. So keep doing the do, keep talking to people about the business. You know, everyone goes through the exact same thing. Like we all go through the same thing. People come and go. You know, things don't always happen the way that we plan them to, but to keep going. And I think to be successful in this business, at any business, we need to be have tenacity and have grit. And you know what? Quitting is not an option, and it's going to happen. And you're an Arbonne lifer, so I'm here to stay. And yeah, just to have that attitude and to keep going. Then if you want to go all the way to the top, then obviously that's where you're going to go. So they're the main things. So it took just under 2 years. Awesome team. I tried to build a business like a sustainable client base. So we've got, you know, sales come in regularly. I've got that client base, continually talking to people. For me, doing a 30 and 30 challenge was really, really good. Talking to people and asking everyone in my, you know, my warm network, even cold network, to be on a 30 and 30 challenge, if they jump on a call with me or have a coffee with me. Did plenty of coffee dates, did tote drops, did events, did networking. I personally like going out and meeting people. I do social media. I don't love it. It's something that I need to learn more skills and grow in as well. But I definitely like meeting people at networking events and out and about. So that's sort of where I sit with that. And I think you need to find what you love and to go with that naturally, like what Cherie was saying before. Find what works for you. And, you know, if you love what you're doing, then it's not really work. So what else? I think they're my basic tips. I'm just checking my notes. Oh, yeah, and the other thing I've learned too about having a traditional business is, you know what, if I don't want to get up at 4 a.m. in the morning, which I do have to tomorrow, I'm going to have 20 employees that are going to be waiting here for me at 5 a.m. to do the work. Do you know what I mean? So when the alarm goes at 4 o'clock, I'm like, I don't want to get out of bed. But do you know what? I get out and I go and I perk up, and 4 o'clock in the morning is an amazing time to be up, actually. I'm not a morning person, but do you know what? I get up and I do it because I have to, because I need to pick the fruit. We need 20 people to pick the fruit, and that's how we derive our income. And it's amazing how with Arbonne, you can think, I don't want to do that today, or I'll call that person later because I'm guilty of it, and how I treat it not like a hobby. So I think, you know what, it's a business. If you want to earn a business income, treat it like a business. So yeah, so that's my tips, and that's how I got to Area. I have an amazing team who obviously have helped. We've all done it collectively together to get to Area, and look forward to working with them to help them get to Area and beyond. So, you know, we can all do it. We've got amazing girls, and we can absolutely achieve all of our goals. That's it.
Love it. Thank you so much, Hun. So many awesome tips in there. Hang on. Now, how do I make myself? There we go. Thanks so much for sharing and for taking some time out of the craziness of lychee season. Don't forget that I'm just up the road and I totally love lychees. Just throwing that in there. Okay, guys, so I'm going to close out tonight and give you guys some skill set training, and something that I think is probably at the top of the list for your skills that you need to grow this business is finding prospects and networking on purpose. And I think quite often, you know, it's a mental shift that you need to make that goes from when you think this business is about who you know and you see people doing really well and you think they must have had an awesome network. When you realize that prospecting is a skill and that's something you need to work on every day, like a muscle, you need to flex it. And the more you do that, the more you'll start to naturally generate leads and generate prospects. That's when you make the shift of becoming very professional at it, and not kind of using the excuse of, I have no one left to ask, I have no one in my network, you know, letting go of that and developing yourself into somebody who can prospect, so that it doesn't matter who's in your network. And your warm list can be super important. And, you know, if you're chicken with your warm list, then that's an issue. But this is a way that, you know, you can get out there and be constantly expanding that list. So what am I going to start with? I'm trying to read my notes here. I wrote them down today and they're messy as. Something I think is really important when prospecting, guys, there's a really great book I read not long ago and it really stood out to me. It's called How to Dig Your Well Before You're Thirsty. Has anyone read that on here? I can't see everybody, so I can't see all the hands going up anyway. But in there, he talks a lot about the importance of adding value to people's lives before you ask for anything. And it's super important, especially in this business. The next few years and that are going to go by. So make sure that wherever you can add value, that you do. It always comes back threefold, and it's never not worth adding value either. So, you know, you think about with your Facebook pages and your Instagram pages and people around you, there's somebody in your life who was there for you and showed up and helped you, if you ask them, who did that for you, if they then turned around and said, you know, hey, I've got this business, I'd love you to have a look at it. After they were there for you, of course you would say yes. you know. So it's so important to make sure that that's a part of your character, because that's the type of person people listen to. That's how you develop an influence. Influence equals giving before asking. It's very important. With your list, you'll find that I find the smaller my list gets, so when you get all inspired and you sit down, you write out your list and you start asking, and the list gets smaller and smaller and smaller, and you haven't got any replies yet, and they're not really the replies that you wanted, who feels their anxiety start to pipe a little bit, like, I'm running out, the list is getting smaller, you know, my goal's looking very big with the last 10 names I have left. So having a list and understanding that that's a key part of this business is so important to dodge that feeling, so that your list is just always growing and always getting bigger. So I've got 7 tips for you. Tip number 1 is to have a professional, active candidate list. Not a list scribbled down in your notebook or a list scribbled on the side of your fridge. I mean an actual, and we actually have a document. Sorry guys, the comments distract me. Yeah, thank you. How to dig well before you're thirsty. We actually have a document on Idesign where you can write down your name. So I'm sure you've all done that, because it's all part of your getting launch strategy. But if you haven't, if you've skipped that somewhere, or it might just be time to freshen it up and do it again, go and get that document, print it off and write it out professionally, guys. Have it neat and nice and with you at all times. Put it in a nice plastic sleeve and carry it with you. And the goal is a network marketing professional, somebody who wants to generate a huge business, will add at least 2 names to this list a day. Think of yourself as a friend collector. Like, you're out, you don't need to have asked these people to look at anything to do with the business. It's just people you know. Okay, so, and just writing down everyone that you know. Go through your friends lists everywhere, go through your phone, and just write down everyone that you know. The second tip that comes with that, though, is to make sure that you do not prejudge. Do not prejudge anybody. Sometimes people who look like they have the best life and the most unwavering success are dying inside. They hate what they're doing. It's all a show, or they've got no time. You know, or they might love what they do, they're happy as, but they're not quite fulfilled yet and they feel like there's something else they could do. You never know. And prejudging people can cost you so much money in the long run. Like, just think how it will feel for that person on your chicken list right now who you know would be amazing. It's only a matter of time before someone else asks that person. Someone else doesn't prejudge them. And I do believe it comes down to your level of belief in this business, because when you truly believe this is the best, when you see someone who you know would kill it, you can't shut your mouth, because you know that this is exactly what could, you know, give them whatever it might be that their business doesn't give them at the moment. So don't prejudge. You don't know what you don't know, and make sure that you're always putting people on that list no matter what. And don't forget that saying. I know it sounds terrible, but I will never forget Stuart Armfield's training at AAC, and he said, never prejudge, and just remember, sometimes every dud knows a stud. And it sounds terrible, but it's so true. And when you're building a huge business, you're just trying to network, guys. So don't prejudge anyone and who they might know. The third thing is make sure you're always expanding your list. Oh, sorry, I've already done that. I crossed that up. By 2 a day, which is what I was just saying. Building connections and relationships with people so that that's right. Sorry, the third tip is to be building connections and relationships with people so that when the appropriate time comes up, you can offer the business. Guys, you don't need to offer the business. If you run into someone somewhere, right, just in a random spot, and you think, oh my gosh, they're so nice, they'd be amazing at Arbonne, and you start to feel, how am I going to offer the business? What can I say? I've got my 60-second story down pat. How am I going to, instead of feeling all of that, just ask them for a coffee date. You know, just be their friend. You don't need to go straight into business. And often you'll find people join you when they know, like, and trust you. So you're probably better off doing that anyway, rather than trying to, I mean, sometimes it comes up in conversation immediately and you go home and you've sponsored someone that day. I'm not saying don't ever bring it up straight away, but if it doesn't feel right, like, I'm such a believer that my gut knows where to take it and their vibe and what to do. So follow that, trust that, and just think to yourself that you're a friend collector. I love that saying. How can I make her my friend? How can I stay in touch with her? You can never have too many friends. Number 4 is develop your awareness, guys, so that you realize that you are constantly in situations where you can add names to your list. We run into people all the time and we don't even see them. Opportunities are around us all the time. And if we're not in the right frame of mind, that's why starting the day right and getting right mentally is so important, because it's like you literally, you know, when you wake up in the morning and you've looked at your Mercedes on your vision board, when you've started the day right and you see it there and you can smell this leather and you can see the steering wheel and you're like all excited about it. Who goes out that day and just sees Mercedes everywhere? They're everywhere. I'm like, oh my gosh, there was like 20 white Mercedes on the road today. But if you didn't do that in that morning, you wouldn't have noticed a single one. It's the same with the opportunities of people you want to network with around you. If you're starting your day affirming the right people are at the right place, I'm going to meet the right people today in the right place at the right time, you're gonna be looking for that and you're going to be aware of it. So tune on your awareness so that you're looking for it. The fifth thing is to network on purpose, guys. Make sure you're putting yourself in situations where you can meet new people. You know, joining groups. There's often groups in your area. If you've got children, play groups are excellent. If you don't have children, there's so many like netball teams and dancing groups and, oh gosh, whatever your thing might be, tennis. The sky's the limit. I found a kayaking group down here the other day and I was like, I'd love to do that, but my hubby does fly in, fly out work, so I can't commit to that, which sucks for me. And then I've had people say to me, oh, it's so much easier for you to network because you've got kids. And I'm thinking, no, it's easier for you. You don't have kids. You can go to everything at any time. So I believe it's the same on both sides. You just have to be networking on purpose and find the groups around you that you can go do. Go check out your local notice boards and jump on Facebook and have a look at your community groups in your area and see what's on and see what you can go along to where you might meet people. I joined a writing group. Turns out it's actually quite fun and I don't mind it. You know, I failed English at school. Probably shouldn't share that with everybody, but not because lack of smartness, but just lack of effort. But anyway, I'm learning so much from that. It turns out I actually really enjoy writing. And I'm really enjoying meeting all the people at the writing group. So get creative with that, guys. There's lots of things you can do. Number 6 is be fun. You've got to try and be the life of the party. And I don't mean the clown of the party, but somebody that people want to be around, somebody who's talking, somebody who's funny and not, you don't have to be a comedian, but, you know, someone who's having a laugh and getting a joke and all of those things. And I know I'm an extrovert, so this comes quite naturally to me. I just naturally enjoy laugh. I laugh very loud, you know, and I throw myself out there and I'm not shy. My husband, on the other hand, he's an introvert. So this is a muscle for him that he has to flex and he has to do it on purpose. And, you know, this comes from Eric Worre, and he said he's such an introvert. And he said, if I can do it, all introverts can do it. It just uses a bit more of our fuel in the tank. You know, it takes a bit more energy. And it's so true. But you look at the top income earners, they're all different personalities, right? But they all look fun to be around. They all look like someone you would love to sit down with and have a chat with. So tip number 5 was network on purpose. Tip number 6 is be fun, be the life of the party. Tip number 7, the last tip and the biggest one probably, is feel the fear and do it anyway. You're going to feel the fear, guys, when you see someone, especially until you've done it more, to ask them to be your friend on Facebook. You know, like that fear bubbles, it's real. Feel it, acknowledge it, and just do it anyway. You know, don't let yourself talk your way out of it. You know, I love Mel Robbins' 5-second rule. You've got 5 seconds to just say it. You know, I met a lady the other day at Andy's welcome day at school. We'd just moved, and I looked at her and I thought, she's lovely. I'd really love to get to know her. Anyway, I went over to her and just started chatting with her. And then I said to her, is it okay? I said, it might sound really random, but I've just moved here to the area and I would love to add you on Facebook and maybe get a coffee one time and let the kids have a play together. And she said, yeah, I'd love that. Love it. She just joined my business and she just bought her ticket for Leadership Retreat yesterday. How cool is that? All from putting myself out there. And like, I'm not going to lie, I was nervous. I walked over to her thinking, oh gosh, but you know, I've done this so many times and never has anyone said to me, no, weirdo. Like ever. They always say, yes, sure, I'd love to connect with you. So it can't hurt, guys. Put yourself out there. Always remember when you're nervous too, that you're often making it about you. So just think, you know, you don't know what you don't know. You don't know what's going on in their life. And this could literally be everything that she's laying in bed hoping for at night, he or she. You don't know that. I love to think of myself as a hope giver. And that's the best thing you can be in this world, is giving people hope to make the situation that they're in better. And that's exactly what this business is. So how cool is that to share? So I'll give a quick recap for you guys so you can jot them down. So tip number 1 is to have a professional, active candidate list. All your names. Cecilia Stoll says, if you have no candidate list, you have no business. It's so true. So that's tip 1. Tip 2 is do not prejudge anyone when you're doing this. You want to be adding to your list every day and not prejudging anyone who goes on the list. Tip number 3 is to build connections and relationships with everybody on your list so that when the appropriate time comes, it's a smooth, easy conversation and you've added value and, you know, you've been there for them, so you're somebody that they want to listen to. Tip number 4 is develop your awareness so that you're constantly realizing when you're constantly running into these opportunities that they're there, that they're an opportunity that you can take advantage of. Don't miss them. Don't not see them. Tip number 5, network on purpose. Join groups, volunteer at places, check out your local community boards, see what you can go and be a part of. Tip number 6 is be fun. Be a fun person. That is one of the biggest tips, you know, truly. No one joins the person who doesn't speak, who isn't involved in anything, who doesn't help, who doesn't communicate, who, you know, they don't know what their dreams are, their goals are, or what they like or what they find funny. You've got to have a personality and you've got to put yourself out there. That's the person that people want to be around. Tip number 7 is to feel the fear and make it about them and do it anyway. Feel the fear. Think what it is that you don't know that could be going on in their life, what you could help them with. When you focus on that, the fear drops away and you actually become quite excited to tell them about what your opportunity and to just become friends. So that's my 7 tips for you guys tonight on networking on purpose and prospecting. It actually came as quite a shock to me when I realized that was a skill. When I worked that out, I was like, interesting. It actually made me feel really good because I realized that who I already knew didn't matter. And, you know, sometimes the most powerful people in business, and most of the time, their whole business is people that they met after they said yes, when they worked out how to do this stuff on purpose. So super exciting. So that's it from me, guys. Smash out your January 2020. I cannot believe we're already at the 20th of January 2020. How cool is that? Have the best day today, the best night tonight, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye, everyone.